So the first thing that we're going to want to do is clean up the mess behind me so that way you think that I live this perfect life.
Ho ho ho, it's Michael Todd and welcome to the Cult of Vintage. Today you guys, we are at Midwest Memories here in Tip City, Ohio, otherwise known as Tippecanoe. We have been here before, but I'm very excited to show you the holiday displays. Check out the Frosty that is greeting us. There are lots of vendors who have decked themselves out for the holiday season, including one of my favorite vendors who has turned her booth into a very sophisticated, elegant holiday display. I do spot these little, I think they're wooden carved Santa heads. I've got to get one. Look at this large paper mache Santa, and right below him, oh, I love it, this antique little stuffed bear on wheels. We even have a little glitz and glamour. I absolutely love this. I've never seen a lighted up Christmas tree done in a metallic silver. It's beautiful. Here at Midwest Memories, you're going to find a lot of items, not just vintage and antiques, but they even have lotions and potions and soaps and teas. Oh my. There's definitely something here for everybody to check out, including very innovative holiday displays. I love the use of this trunk just filled, bursting with the vintage ornaments, and that little tinsel tree is the perfect little accent. This is a gorgeous look. I'm loving the very woody, kind of natural Christmas displays this year, incorporating a lot of the browns, the greens. It's giving us more of a Yule vibe than a traditional Christmas, and I really appreciate this look. Again, the colors are absolutely beautiful. They're a little bit more muted than what we typically find in a lot of Christmas displays, more of the vibrant reds and greens. I love the vintage ephemera. We've got the satin and the tinsel postcards here. There's just something very magical about those to me. Again, lots of the golds here to give us a little bit more of a metallic finish. We've got some small little picks there, and even little baby Jesuses. This is where they're at if you're missing them. I really was called to this one. Check out this advertising postcard, the absurdity of it. You have got Sanook. Sanook, of all things, it's little Sanook is with us. I absolutely loved how odd this was. We do have some contemporary items here, and I'm really enjoying those also. You can get a great antique and vintage Christmas look without actually having to be vintage or antique. Here we've got more of those traditional, bright, vibrant, fun colors. This is like the Kitschmas vibe. I love these little to and from gift tags with strawberry shortcake. Again, the bright, vibrant colors are never going to go out of style. I think that they're wonderful, and they definitely speak to a very old world charm. While a lot of these little corsages here are from the 40s and 50s, they can still give you a mid 1800s look, especially with that tinsel that's very popular again. Some more traditional items. Something that I personally love. These are either a yes or no, I think, for a lot of people, but these again remind me of my childhood. I think these could really be dressed up in some beautiful brass candlesticks. This little Santa picture here, he's got some color loss to him. I'm not really mad at it. It looks like he's got a little snow on there. Do you remember these? The door covers? That definitely should bring back some holiday memories for some folks. Again, speaking of those bright, vibrant colors, we do have a box here of some vintage ornaments. They are labeled as Shiny Brights. I don't know that they are all Shiny Brights. There's definitely a way to tell each one. I know there's some great online resources to really better help you distinguish what is and what isn't a Shiny Bright, and more specifically, if it is, the year in which it was created. And it has all to do with the little caps on the ornaments. Again, I see a plastic one here, that gold one, so not all Shiny Brights. Again, giving more of the woodland vibes here with a lot of the deer. I love this very large brandy snifter and how they filled it just with the clear ornaments with the iridescent effect. These little reindeer, absolutely adorable, more contemporary, but again, something that could be, I think, used throughout the winter months, giving you that icy feel. Loving the incorporation of the amber glass into here. I really think that gives a very elegant look. These little wooden ornaments, I thought perhaps they were sachets, but no, they're just a little ornament hand painted in India. Here's a mid-century Christmas look. These little angels here, I think they're absolutely adorable. Again, the gold is really speaking to me this year. I'm loving the more metallic finishes in the Christmas. That's this year. Who knows? Maybe next year we go back to the bright saturated colors. I did spot this paper pulp Santa here. The best part is that he is actually a little storage box. I think that this piece is great, especially if you do love to collect those bits and bobs for your Santa collections, your Christmas collections. This frosty ornament, again, while it is a contemporary item, I think he's absolutely charming. Gives some great whimsy. More contemporary here, made to look antique, are the chenille candy canes here. I was tempted to get these for our Christmas tree. I think that they really would complement our tree. I ultimately elected not to get them. What I did elect to get was some tinsel. Now, while this was packaged and sold as packaged stuffing, I thought, you know what? We could actually use this gold on the tree. I'm excited to show you guys that then. Again, talking about those bright, vibrant Christmases, here we've got some bottle brush candy cane, a little wreath with the bells. There is something I think that is very charming. And again, these bottle brush trees, especially with the glitter on them, when you pull them all together, put in some Miro Star lights, very elegant. Might not seem it, but give it a try. One of my favorite finds of the day was this clay Santa, Jester Santa here, and you can open him up and he's got like a little storage container in there. I love, again, that metallic finish to the ornament. He has done so well. We had to snatch him up. They definitely got the stockpile on the blow mold angels here. And I do love, of course, these little candles here. They're labeled as Victorian era. I don't know if they are or not, but the face is really interesting because it does appear that the faces are in fact paper that was then layered over with wax. I like the rough finish to those. This was really cute, very non-traditional. The usage of the billiard balls here with the bottle brush tree. I thought that was cute. It, like I said, very unique. You can see there are some also with some letter blocks on there. I did spot some antique tinsel here. The antique tinsel is, as it typically is, a little pricey, so I do elect to hold off on that. But again, they do have reproduction tinsel, so if you're not hard fast on it, it's certainly something that you can consider. I do see a lot of reproduction of the chenille, the bump chenille, kind of like the die cuts that would be like an antique hobby kind of piece. And if you're not familiar with that, there's a lot of die cuts that were used. Speaking of antique ephemera, look at this. These little paper dolls here. These would have been premiums. Apparently, if you bought your thread, I like this. The heads can be removed and you can kind of switch them around on the bodies. Definitely have been looking for those mercury glass pieces. That garland is definitely doing it for me. I did make a beaded garland out of these ones. It's beautiful. I love that color. The last item that I am going to be picking up today is this little wooden German house. It does say Germany underneath it, only $5. You all know I love the tiny treasures. Well, that is it, guys. We're going to take our purchases and we're going to head back to the inn.
Welcome to the kitchen of the Cult of Vintage. We are going to take a break from trimming all of the trees and decorating. If you haven't checked out those videos, our first one is available here, and then our second one is going to be available for you here. We've worked up a hunger, and there is nothing better for your hunger during the holiday seasons than Chex Mix. Now, I am of a certain age at 46 that once upon a time in school, we used to have home ec classes. I know that is a lost art. So this definitely is bringing up some vintage memories of home ec class. I remember making pizza and of course this Chex Mix. We're gonna kind of make it our own. It's a classic holiday treat if you've not made it. It is really easy to make and quite frankly, it's way better than the original. So the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is clean up the mess behind me so that way you think that I live this perfect life. So let me get to doing that first.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Okay, and now that you think this is how we traditionally live, let's get into making the Chex Mix. It's super easy. We're gonna go over the ingredients, so let's dive right into it. Here we go.
On bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight.
Okay, so I have gathered up the ingredients here behind me. There's just a few things that you're gonna need. So let's take a closer look at those and we're gonna get to baking. Oh, the accoutrement. Of course, you're gonna need 4 different kinds of Chex. I lie. You're going to need 3 kinds of Chex Mix. I doubled it up there, I didn't notice it. We're gonna go with butter. I am using unsalted butter simply because we're going for the flavor of the butter. We don't need the added salt because we do have the Lowry's seasoned salt. We of course do have the Chex Mix Party Mix seasoning blend. This is available at Walmart, 27 cents. You need some Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna add in some sesame sticks. This is not traditional to the recipe, but Richard requested it, so we're doing it. We've got a mixed nuts here. We've got mini pretzels, and most important are the garlic rye chips. We're gonna crush these up here, so that's it. Like I said, it's a few things, but I gotta say, it's a little costly, truth be told. That's why we did our shopping at Walmart. I will say that this is gonna make about 4 batches of this, and each batch is about twice as much as you would get in a Chex Mix bag. So over the course of the ingredients, you're definitely going to save some money, though it is a little costly up front. Okay, before we start measuring out, we're going to go ahead, preheat our oven to 250. Yes, boys and girls, just to 250. Okay, so I'm gonna take this glass baking dish. Before I put the butter in here to melt it, you can melt your butter in the microwave if you would prefer. I'm just doing it old school. I'm gonna stick it into, what is this? The baking dish, and stick it in the oven and melt it that way. Why? I don't know. We're doing it vintage style. So that's what we're gonna do. But before we do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this to measure out my ingredients, mix the ingredients first, or what I might do is take my ingredients, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead, put my butter in here. We're gonna cut that up into tablespoon cubes, shove it in the oven, let that butter melt. And while that is happening, I'm gonna grab a Ziploc baggie and I'm gonna show you why here in just a second. Okay, so 1 gallon Ziploc baggie. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure, and this is gonna be my storage container too, so don't worry. We're not gonna be, just mixing our ingredients up here and tossing it. This is gonna be our baggie. I'm gonna take the ingredients, measure them out into the Ziploc baggie, and it's gonna let me mix them up. I just find it to be that much easier. You can do it in the baking dish before the butter is in there, and it does help to kind of mix those ingredients up, just so that way you can get a nice even coating on everything. So let's go ahead and we're gonna jump into that. Here we go.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or 2 ago.
Oh, there it is. It's all in a bag, and I'm just going to give it a shake.
Open sleigh. A day or 2 ago, I thought I'd take a ride. And soon be
I'm gonna go ahead and cut my cold butter, unsalted. You could use salted if you wanted to. Like I said, I'm just doing it for flavor because we're gonna mix in some other stuff to zhuzh it up. So let's do that quick. Okay, there's our dish. I'm just gonna bust out a butter knife. Like I said, I'm gonna cut these in tablespoons. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just cutting it because it'll help the melting process a little bit faster. Again, you can use the microwave, whatever works for you. I'm gonna evenly space them out here. Go.
Was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lame. Misfortune seemed his lot. He got
From our baking sheet into the oven. Again, it's at 250. Keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn. And I'm going to continue to mix up my butter. And I'm going to do some more shaky shakes here. Get that more mixed up while the butter melts. Oh, ingredients. I did decide, even though we have, this isn't like a super old school, because you know, back in home ec, they, you know, it would be seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder, celery powder. You can do whatever spices you really want, but Chex made it that much easier for us. But I am gonna amp it up with a little extra garlic powder and a little extra onion powder. As well as the seasoned salt and Worcestershire sauce. So once the butter's melted, we're gonna mix that all up. See, we're getting a good mix on that one, though I see a pocket of the chips over here. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Anyhow. All right, y'all, the butter is almost completely melted. It's at a point where it's, I think y'all know, it's fine. We're gonna whisk it down. So there's that. Let me shut the oven. We're gonna wanna grab a whisk. Again, we've got that Chex Mix party seasoning. I'm just gonna spread it out evenly in the pan. If you've ever smelled this, quite frankly, it smells like what we're adding to it. Lowry's seasoning salt, however much or however little, if at all, you even want to put in. Okay. I'm going to use a little extra garlic powder, not a lot, because it is in there as I pour it in there. And last but not least, a little bit more of the onion. Onion powder is such a beast to get out of the packet. Finally, Worcestershire. I gotta say, the seasoning smells like Worcestershire sauce, frankly. We're gonna go ahead and whisk this all together. I want all of the butter to melt, and I want all of the spices to be incorporated. Now, there's a couple of ways we could do this. I am going to do the very traditional classic way. Once I get this all mixed together, I'm going to pour my cereal mix, my Chex Mix, on top of the butter, and then use a slotted spoon to mix it up. You can pour it in a bag, you can pour it in a mixing bowl, you can do your life, however it is that works for you. It's just the way that I am choosing to do this. Not gonna lie, it kind of smells god-awful, truthfully. All right, I think we're good and mixed. I'm going to go ahead and slowly pour my Chex Mix on top. Maybe get it coated as evenly as possible. High walls are a must. That's why I'm using, I'm getting close to my edges. What do you call it? A broiling pan would be great for this, because they traditionally have even higher walls, but why would I do that? Make sure not to grab a hold of the hot baking dish. Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna incorporate it all. Try to get what's on the bottom up to the top, what's on the top down to the bottom. That's why some people choose to do a mixing bowl. Others are going to choose to pour it into the baggie, the butter, that is. Again, our oven's still set at 250. It's easy to tell what is and what isn't because it's got like that shine, obviously, from the butter. I got two little helpers down here, Gracie and Louie. So anything that falls on the floor, I'm trying, because this is a little decadent for their little tummies. Not that they care. We just have a mess to clean up later. Okay. Let me get some of these abandoned bits. We're going to bake it. Nice and glossy here on the top, which is what we're looking for. I'm going to even it out. Uncovered. A total of an hour. We're going to mix it every 15 minutes. I set the timer for every 15 minutes. That way nothing gets browned, and I'm trying to evenly coat everything, so we're gonna do that now.
She's in the oven.
Again, I set for every 15 minutes. I know, you're dying over the stove. It is, in fact, a vintage Frigidaire. You know, one of those stoves that they built to kind of last. And yes, we're of course using the milk glass everything. Why are we looking at the kitchen countertop? Clear a space, clean it up, lay paper towels down, because that's how we're going to cool the Chex Mix once it's done with its hour. So I've just cleared off a large, and it is a large space. I gotta push this back a little bit, but we're gonna clear this space off, clean it up, and set the paper towels down so it is ready to go. I do have to tell you, it smells so good in here. So good. There it is. She's on the paper towels, cooling down. Oh boy. But you know we gotta take a quick taste test. Okay, here we go. What are we gonna do? A pretzel? The bagel chips, because they're my favorite. The bagel chips and the wheat are my favorite. Okay. Huh? Mmm. Here's to you guys. Until next time. Bye, everyone.